Okay, good afternoon. My name is Robin Roberts. I'm from IBM. We're here this afternoon to do a mock group exercise. This is how we do these exercises at IBM. I suspect that this is what they may well do at other employers as well. Anybody done this sort of exercise before, a group exercise before? Have you done any assessment centres yet? Put any applications in for? This sort of exercise we do is similar to the sort of exercise we do whether you're actually coming for a placement, a 12-month placement with IBM, or if you're going for a graduate role with IBM. And in both assessment centres, for both types of groups, what we do is that we do an assessment centre in two parts. The first part we do two group exercises. One will be a problem-solving exercise and the other will be a more collaboration exercise. More discussive type exercise. The exercise you've got in front of you is actually a problem-solving exercise. We find in IBM that doing group exercises first is the best way to go around assessing people. And to give you an indication how sort of serious this all is, I guess from an IBM point of view, is that a couple of weeks ago we did the first round for our placements for 2012-2013, and we only passed 1/3 of the people through. So it meant that 2/3 of the people there did not pass the group exercise. My view is that a lot of it is down to the fact that you're actually not prepared for doing group exercises. So we can't teach you how to pass a group exercise. All we can do is to try and give you an example of what it's like, so that when you do walk into a group exercise, at least you're prepared for that, and you can think about, hopefully, some of the things that you've learned this afternoon. Okay? So it's very serious business, and interestingly, out of the third that we did pass through, out of those people that we actually assessed last week at the second round, where they do a presentation and an interview, only 2 did not pass. So there's a fair indication in the IBM is that if you can pass the group exercises, there's a good chance that you're actually going to pass the overall assessment centre. But you can't get to that second part until you've gone through the groups. So we're going to try and help you with that this afternoon. What we're going to do first is that we're actually going to do a role play. And we're all going to play particular parts to try and in a team that's going to try and solution the problem that we've given you. Okay, so the other paper I've given you is competencies. So what I want to do, what we're going to do is that we're actually going to role play solving this problem. And each one of us has actually got a specific role that we're playing. So we all know these. Now, these have been answered, so people have chosen the role that they feel best suits them. So you can make your own judgments about that. Okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to do this for about 15 minutes. And what we want you to do is to be as if you are the assessors of the assessment centre. So if I'm assessing, if I had got these people here and I was assessing, then I would probably assess these 2 people here, and somebody over there would assess these 2 people here. And feel free, when you come to the end, to give me your feedback, because what I'm going to do at the end of this, I'm going to ask you to provide feedback on this. So if you are providing feedback on, say, us 2, then if you feel you've got something to say about these guys, well, then please say that as well. You don't have to hold it back. So the idea is we just get you thinking about some of the things you observe, and a lot of the time you're going to be seeing maybe things that you don't think are right, and you put those out. But then again, you may see some things that you feel are the right way to go about, and you pull those out. I've done this at other universities, and sometimes there's even a conflict between what people are seeing. Some people might see good things in this person, some other people might say we're doing things wrong. Again, we need to bring those out. Because what you're going to do, armed with this information, probably more likely how not to do things, but with some pointers, we're then going to break you into groups of around about 6 or 7, and then we're going to get you to do the same exercise. Okay. And then we are all going to speak, so that we one assessor per group, and then we will give you feedback as a group, not as individuals, but as a group. The other form that you've got is talks about competencies. So although you're assessing this, what we're assessors in general terms, what we're going to be assessing you on later on is adaptability, communication and teamwork. And you might want to use this as a benchmark for assessing us. So adaptability, very often, if you think about going into a group exercise, it's an assessment centre, it's quite an unusual situation. You might be quite tense, you actually go in there, you're in a group of, say, 6 people, you don't know those people, you're meeting for the first time, and you've probably only got a timeline of 30 minutes in order to do that. So it might mean that you have to adapt or modify how you would normally work. You might have to change the way that you would normally work. There may be things that happen in that exercise because you're actually working with people in a team, that they do things that you need to react to. And so are you adapting in a positive way? Do you adapt in a negative way? Can you initiate ideas if things aren't going well? Can you, if we're going into a dead end, can you initiate better ways of doing things, or at least put ideas forward? So there are all these things around about adaptability. What we say in our group exercises, particularly where there's a solution, that as assessors we're not really interested in the answer. If you get the answer, that's fantastic, but we already know what the answer is. What we're more interested in is looking at how you work together to come to that solution. So teamwork is paramount, and if you go on, I guess, on any website, any major company, you will see that one of the major skills they're looking for is teamwork, because that's what businesses do, they work in team. Communications, obviously, if you say nothing in an assessment centre, you can't be assessed, therefore you will fail. So you need to be able to communicate. But I would suggest that one thing that we tend to overlook, even when we're doing applications or CVs, we overlook the fact that we must be listening as well. So when you're in communications, are these guys listening to each other? Are they not listening? And are they communicating? Again, that's what we're going to be assessing. So those 3 areas, there would be, in any assessment centre that IBM runs, probably a 4th. So we're either looking at 3 or 4 of these, but generally we're going to have these 3.